Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and the big question right now is, will the Trump administration take down Google and Facebook and some of the other social media giants? I'm hesitant to say that this is actually going to happen. I do not like how the narrative has been framed, that there's some kind of a quote-unquote just an anti-conservative bias. Now, surely that does exist in a lot of these social media platforms, and we have seen Google curate content and search results. But I would never call it a conservative bias. It is a bias against anything that is not mainline. Okay? Alternative media, real alternative media, was hit the hardest. The anti-medias of the world. The people calling for less or no war. The we are changes of the world. Okay, those are the ones that also got hit. Press for Truth, people that were on the ground. Nothing to do with conservative voices. Now, earlier in the week, I had been looking at this story, and I was trying to do a story about it, but again, with Bilderberg, it was so tough. The Federal Trade Commission secures the rights to lead an antitrust investigation into Facebook, giving the DOJ chief control over probes into Google and Apple, causing a $149 billion of losses to be wiped off the value. Now, this is today, and when was this? June 1st or 2nd? It might have been the 4th. I was just saying it's the 4th. When was it? Yeah, June 1st they put this out. So Trump is out there saying it's silencing conservative voices. And when I saw this and saw that the FTC had closed an investigation of Google, agreeing to stop scraping data from rivals. So they knew what was going on with Google. So one of the things that Google would do is that since everything had to go through their search engine, they would scrape whatever data they could and put it away in their nice track trace database system, that profiling system we've talked about, the precursor to our Chinese social credit score. We may not have that credit score yet, but if you don't understand that there's an entire profile built on you based on this device, this right here in your pocket that has a GPS on at all times, that tracks your movement, that sees how many times you look at that screen, how many times you use this app, that app, what you pay with, what you look at, what those around you are saying and doing. Yes, that's right. That's what automated content recognition is. That's what automated speech recognition is. ACR, ASR, many other forms of tools. Now, with them going in here and going after Facebook as well, which I think is completely warranted at this point. Now, Zuckerberg has people trying to get him out of there. I didn't hear one person while Zuckerberg was up on Capitol Hill mentioning the types of software I was just mentioning. Alfonso being the largest one, the most notable one. But again, what's important here is that these companies are all doing the same thing. And there are algorithms out there. I believe Steven Crowder got an email from somebody on the inside of Facebook that showed that his content was purposely not being distributed like other content. We know that, Zuckerberg first came out when the Russian interference, before even the collusion, the Russian interference in elections, and he laughed at it. He laughed at it because he knew it was nonsense. But as soon as they started putting pressure on him for all the other dirty things that they've done, Cambridge Analytica just being one small portion, well, he flipped over, he sang like a bird, and he started taking all the same talking points you see on the mainstream media. And now it's just so important to maintain our election integrity. And make no mistake about it, this is a political move by Trump, not only to look like a hero to break these companies up. And by the way, this is coming from unnamed sources at the Wall Street Journal, but when we were looking just at that other DOJ investigation being prepared last week, it seems all but inevitable that this is going to happen. He's very much doing this so that, I believe anyway, so that the Democrats don't take the House, don't take the Senate in 2020. He has a better chance of winning the presidential election because they're going to pull out all stops. That's absolutely true. When Joe establishment Biden, is your front runner, you better pull out all the old dirty tricks that you know about, all the establishment tricks you can, because in my opinion, the guy is absolutely 100% completely unelectable. And look, we used to break up monopolies in this country. Teddy Roosevelt, the trust buster, he knew that at some point when the Leviathans get so big, when they are colluding with one another, clearly colluding with one another. Remember, Google's not only your search engine, it's not only your operating system on your phone if you decide to go without an iPhone. And remember, in this latest one, Apple is being talked about. So there's just another Leviathan of an operating system. So you basically have two choices for an operating system on one of these things. You have either Apple or Google. Now, Google controls the very platform you're watching this on. The very platform that's supposed to go out there and notify you when I do a video. How many of you guys got the notification? I'm streaming this live right now. I got 10 people watching me. I have 18,000 plus subscribers. Okay? On top of that, I have a lot of people that watch these things that aren't subscribers. I have 10 people right now. My metrics are amazing on analytics. You know, people watch my videos for 50 to 75% of the portion, sometimes well over the 10-minute mark. All things that YouTube targets, yet right now I've got 10 people live watching me. What does that tell you? Well, the algorithm doesn't treat truth tellers the same way they treat cat videos or people jumping into Jell-O or people putting on makeup or food channels or any of this stuff. Instead, they want to push what? Authoritative content. Apparently, Jason Burmis isn't authoritative enough when he reads articles, documents, and shows you video evidence on air. And that's a big problem. Why do they get to decide? So, overall, I think this is a very positive move. The more transparency, the better. I wonder what exactly is going to come out of it. Right now, especially in this election cycle, we are about to be entrenched in talks of impeachment even more than before. Let me be clear about that. I told you from the very beginning of this Mueller report that they were not going to find Russian collusion, that indeed it was an attempt at a perjury trap or to possibly be able to go after the president for other crimes. When that was unable to be accomplished, they realized they needed to split their report in two and make an entire section about obstruction of justice of a crime that was never committed. Remember, this investigation was into Russian collusion. They couldn't find that. Instead, they put 11 different instances which could be determined as obstruction of justice. And in many cases, if the actual investigation was legitimate, it would be. And that's kind of the trick here. So now after Mueller gets up there and he starts talking about how he never exonerated him of crime, I knew he was going to say that. We have to take that entire report with a grain of salt anyway. Just yesterday, George Nader was arrested. He was one of the main witnesses against Trump. Over 4 dozen, that's over 48 footnotes in that report, are related to Nader. Okay? Nader obviously had everything going against him. Had a CP charge in 91 that he pled guilty to. And in 2018 of January, he was picked up again. A lot of hush-hush. Shh, we're not going to talk about that. Think about that. Picked up in January of 2018. That's over 18 months ago. We just found out he was getting arrested. He just got arrested. And from that January to April, it took for a grand jury to hear the evidence and an indictment to be made. That indictment was sealed. And now we know that this guy had some of the most grotesque images ever of young children. I believe one of the reports was 3 years old on one of them, of videos. Pics of videos. Why would he have pics of videos and not just the videos themselves? Well, it seems to me with the people that he was running in circles with, again, not a right or left issue, that he was selling this stuff. He had clients. Why else would he just have the pictures? And when you see, you know, the people around him from the UAE to the Trump administration and beyond, these are high-level clientele. And he's looking at a minimum of 15 years on this latest charge. Should be going to jail forever. Should have been in jail in the 90s. But they purposely have lower sentences for these people. So there's plenty of scandals out there right now. Plenty of scandals for your TV news cycle to just keep pumping out to you. This one is a very important one. And, you know, the media is going to try to spin it as some conspiracy theory, but make no mistake about it. Trump is doing this not only to gain votes, because he knows the people out there are sick of the internet censorship, the curation, that Apple, Facebook, Google, Twitter get to do whatever they like, run any kind of algorithm, promote whatever they like, and have unfair business practices. Let's be honest. That is true. The question is he going to step in there and go to bat for everybody, not just the conservatives out there? Will he go to bat for Jason Burmis? I highly doubt it, but we will see. We always give people a chance here. Guys, I want to remind you, I'm making all sorts of content here on this channel. If you're just tuning in, you liked it, please subscribe, hit that like button, thumbs it up, share it on social media, ring the bell. Did 4 videos on this channel yesterday. Already pumped out one before this morning on Jared Kushner and Pompeo. I'm going to continue to pump out content. I'm looking to do 30 to 50 videos this week on this channel. On top of that, you can check me out daily for one video over at We Are Change 6 days a week, and 6 days a week I do 3 videos over here at News for a Change as well with Luke Rudowski. So guys, please, get this information out there. Explain to people what this is really about and how it's not a right-left conservative issue, that this internet censorship is very, very real, and we do have to fight it. And, Trump may be guilty of a lot of things, but some of the things that they're trying to paint him up as a Russian agent and the collusion, all that is bullshit, and we need to call it out as such. Thank you once again for watching me, and I will see you guys on the flip.